Hi, I'm Alan Stein, professional basketball strength and conditioning coach, and congratulations on joining the MVP program. By following this program, you'll be able to grab more rebounds, block more shots, and dunk the basketball with authority. But most importantly, you'll dominate your opponent. In the past 10 years, I've been fortunate enough to work with numerous high school and college All-Americans and dozens of players in the NBA, so I know this program works. If you follow this program with consistency and effort, it will unleash the MVP in you. The game of basketball has changed a lot in the last 20 years. Today's game is played above the rim. In order to truly reach your basketball playing potential, you need to improve your vertical jump and your on-the-court explosiveness. This program is based on scientific principles and hours in the gym with thousands of athletes. This program is not based on gizmos and gadgets and funny-looking shoes. Hard work and consistency will unleash the MVP in you. Improving your vertical jump is easy in theory, yet difficult in practice. It takes hard work and consistency. If you follow this program, you will get results. Improving your vertical jump and explosiveness on the court is a full body activity. Too many programs focused on smaller muscle groups such as the calves, where it's more important to focus on the muscles of the hips, glutes, and core. In the last 10 years, I've been fortunate enough to work with thousands of basketball players, and I know this program works. You can gain anywhere from 2 to 15 inches on your vertical jump if you apply these principles with consistency and with effort. In order to improve your vertical jump and your on-the-court explosiveness, you need to take a comprehensive approach. There are 4 areas that we'll address with the MVP program: flexibility, strength, power, and conditioning. One of the best parts of the MVP program is it's time efficient. You don't need to spend countless hours in the gym and in the weight room to get maximum gains. In as little as 2 to 3 hours a week, you can reach your full maximum vertical potential. The MVP program is the truth. We don't make false claims of absurd results. Your potential to jump is based primarily on your genetics, but I guarantee this program will get you jumping as high as you possibly can. Flexibility is defined as range of motion in a joint or series of joints. Improving the flexibility in your Achilles and calves and hamstrings and hip flexors will greatly increase your potential to jump. The days of sitting on your backside and stretching are over. To truly reach your potential, you need to take an active and dynamic approach to flexibility. And the first one we're doing is toe walks. Shane will stay on the balls of his feet, not letting his heels touch, making sure we adequately warm up the muscles of the calves, the Achilles, and the ankle joint. Next one are heel walks. Shane will keep his toes pointed up, making sure the muscles running up the front of the shin are adequately warmed up, as well as preparing the ankle joint and the Achilles. Just walking on the heels. Next is a Frankenstein march to stretch the muscles of the hamstrings. He's going to kick his leg up, keeping it as straight as possible to the opposite fingertip. As he gets loose, he'll increase the range of motion. Here we have knee hugs. He'll take a step. He's going to hug his knee as tight as he can into his chest, loosening up the muscles of his hamstrings and glutes. He gets a good pause at the top. Perfect. All of our dynamic flexibility, it's important not to rush through it. Take your time, get a good stretch each and every rep. Next we have pointers. Ideal way to stretch out the hamstrings and calf muscles. He's going to keep the leg that he's stretching straight, point the toe up to the sky and reach down with the opposite fingertip. Try and grab underneath his shoe and get a good pause at the bottom. It's also good for stretching the muscles of the low back and glutes. Now Shane's doing the quad walk. He'll pull his heel into his backside, get a good pause to the top, stretching out the muscles of the quadriceps on the front of the thigh. Many of the dynamic flexibility movements are also good for working on your balance. Extremely important dynamic flexibility movement for basketball players is the eagle. Shane's going to squat down in a modified defensive stance, push out on his knees with his elbows, really stretching the muscles of the groin, the hips, and the low back. Excellent. Now doing our side-to-side lunge, which again is another great way to stretch the groin, hips, low back, and even the bit of the hamstrings. You'll lean to the right, then lean to the left, then shuffle through. The last one in our dynamic flexibility series is the low lunge. Shane steps out as far as he can step and is going to get his inside elbow down by the ground, stretching out the muscles of the low back, glutes, hip flexors, and hamstrings. He's not rushing through, he's getting a good pause at the bottom. This is our stationary eagle, where he'll go from a squatted position, stretching out the muscles of the groin and hips, to a legs extended position, where he's stretching out the hamstrings, also working the muscles of the low back. Another great exercise if you don't have a lot of room. One more. Our next one are called leg swings. Great for loosening up the hip joint and the groin. It's important that the leg that's on the ground stays facing the wall. Shane's leaning in at a 45-degree angle and going through as full a range of motion as he can. Any exercise that we do unilaterally, we'll make sure that we do both sides. This is a great warm-up exercise if you don't have a lot of room. Our last exercise is called the scorpion. You're gonna lay face down. Shane's got his arms in the shape of a T, palms down, keeping his shoulders on the ground, and he's gonna bring his heel up to the opposite foot, getting a tremendous stretch in the hip flexors and hips, low back and core. Also a great stretch for the chest and shoulders. Get one more each side. And perfect. The second way to improve your vertical jump and on-the-court explosiveness is through productive strength training. If you can make the muscles of the legs, hips, and core stronger, you can produce more force. And if you can produce more force, you increase your potential to jump. The more force you can produce against the ground, the higher up you'll go. The MVP strength training program is safe, time efficient, and extremely productive. In order for a strength training program to be successful, it has to be intense. And intensity is defined by taking an exercise to momentary muscular fatigue, which is the point where you cannot perform any more safe repetitions. You should limit your rest intervals in between sets because the game of basketball itself is played at high intensity with limited rest. Strength is an attribute that's easily lost. In as little as 2 to 3 weeks, you can see a decline in your strength. So you need to perform strength training workouts both in and out of season. Basic strength training guidelines for basketball players include: perform appropriate movements in a slow, controlled, and deliberate fashion. Minimize rest intervals to induce an overall conditioning effect. Work your entire body equally, including all muscle groups, to ensure that muscle balance. Train at a high level of intensity. Take every exercise to momentary muscular fatigue. Be progressive. Constantly increase resistance to increase strength. It is important to record workout data to ensure progress is being made. A productive strength training program doesn't need to take a lot of time. In as little as 2 to 3 workouts per week, at 20 to 30 minutes per workout, you can make maximum strength gains and unleash the MVP in you. First exercise we're doing is a trap bar deadlift, working all the major muscle groups used in jumping, working the hips, quads, hamstrings, calves, and glutes. Keeps his core nice and tight, lowers the weight under control, keeps his chest out, also working the muscles of the fingers and forearms. This is one of the best exercises you can do to improve your vertical jump. Let's try and get 3 right here. Looks great, Sean. Everything's under control, pushing hard through the heels on the way up. Last one right here. Excellent. Doing the dumbbell deadlift, keeping all the muscles of the core nice and tight, keeping his chest out as if he's sitting back in a chair, grabbing the dumbbells nice and firm, working the muscles of the hips, glutes, hamstrings, quads, and calves. This is another ideal exercise to improve your vertical jump. As you can see, it's very similar to the jump in motion. It's a great way to strengthen those muscle groups. Let's look for 3. There's 1. Great job, Sean. 2. Last one. And perfect. Okay, there you go. Careful. Next exercise is the leg press, which sometimes is a 45-degree leg sled where you're pushing the weight up. You can see Sean controls the weight nice and slow on the way down, kisses it off the bumper, pushes up through his heels. Aside from the deadlift and the squat, this is one of the best exercises you can do to improve your vertical jump and explosiveness because we work all of the major muscle groups, working the quads and hamstrings, the glutes, and the calves. Keeps his back nice and flat. He's not bouncing or jerking the weight. This keeps tension on the muscle groups the whole time. Let's get 3 good reps. Looks great, Sean. There you go, that's fine. 2 more. Slow on the low, there we go. Last one coming right here. And perfect. Nice job. For a basketball player to truly become explosive, it's important that they can work and strengthen each leg independently. It's not uncommon for someone to have a strength indifference between their 2 legs. This exercise is similar to the dumbbell deadlift we did, but we're now doing everything unilaterally, which really increases the intensity in the ankle and knee. And as you can see, you also have to incorporate some balance. This is one of the most difficult exercises you can do, but is a great way to build strength and power at 1 leg at a time. Let's look for 3 more. That's it, you're doing great. You're doing great, Sean. 2 more. And then obviously we would work the other leg as well. Last one. That is perfect. Nice work. Our next exercise is called our lunge matrix. Sean's going to do a forward lunge and then a lateral lunge. Again, we're building strength unilaterally, 1 leg at a time, working the muscles of the hips, quads, hamstrings, calves, and by stepping laterally, we're also working the muscles of the groin, which we use in standing in a defensive position. Another excellent way to build strength and power, 1 leg at a time. Let's shoot for 2 more. He's keeping his torso upright. This is great posture, keeping tension on the muscle groups, and he's not bouncing or jerking. Last one. With all our unilateral exercises, we would work both sides. Now going to do a hip raise. Sean's going to keep his left leg at 90 degrees, pushing off of a bench, or you can use a chair or a box. And he's using the muscles of his glutes and hamstrings to raise up off the ground, get a good pause at the top. It's very important to develop the posterior side of the body, the glutes, the low back, and the hamstrings. Excellent. Going through a full range of motion, nice and slow and controlled. Let's get 3. There's 1, 2, last one, and perfect. Next exercise, which is a main staple of the MVP program, is a step up. Sean's going to step on an elevated surface, in this case a bench, anywhere from 12 to 18 inches high. He's pushing hard through the heel of the leg that's on the bench, working the muscles of the quads and glutes. Again, unilaterally. He's standing completely upright, keeping the muscles of his torso nice and tight, and driving hard through the leg on the bench. Excellent. Let's shoot for 3 right here. And then we would work the other side. Excellent. Last one. Nice job. And relax, just sit him down, Sean. Our next drill is a lateral step up. Okay. Sean's facing parallel with the bench. Pushing hard through that inside leg. Driving force through his heel. Tremendous way to build strength and power in the hamstrings, quads, and glutes. Looking good. Let's get 3. There's 1. Doing great, doing great. 2. Last one. And perfect. All right, now we're going to do a leg curl, which on this in particular machine is working each leg independently. Sean's going to curl his heels up to his backside. He's keeping his torso and hips down on the pad. Excellent. You can see he controls the movement on the way up and on the way down, working the muscles of the hamstring. In order to keep the knee and hip joint nice and strong, it's very important to work the posterior side of the body. The hamstrings do play a role in your ability to jump. Looking good. Let's get 3. There's 1. Excellent, Sean. 2 more. That's great control. That's perfect. 2. Last one right here. Absolutely perfect. Good squeeze. Nice. Calf raise. He's going to stand on an elevated surface of about 3 or 4 inches, holding the dumbbell, keeping the ball of his foot up on the surface, getting a good stretch at the bottom, really stretch the Achilles and the calf, and then getting a full contraction at the top, all the way up on his tiptoe. It's a great way to keep the ankle strong, and the same way develop the muscles of the calves, which certainly are important for jumping. Let's see if we can get 4 good ones right here. 1, 2, 3. Last one, looks great. Perfect. BJ's performing a standard barbell bench press. He's got a shoulder width grip, bringing the bar down to his mid-chest, going nice and slow on the way down, and controlling the weight the entire time. There we go, good, BJ, keep going. Excellent. It's very important not to bounce the bar off your chest, not to arch your back. BJ's in complete control of the weight the entire time. We're going to get 3 reps right here. We're going to go till muscle fatigue, till BJ needs me to help him. Yep, we're going to get 2 more. I'm with you on both. There we go. 1 more. Perfect. Next exercise is a pull-up. Working the muscles of the back, biceps, and forearms. You see BJ goes through a full range of motion, all the way down, all the way up. So his chin's above the bar, gets a good pause at the top, hit full muscle contraction. Excellent. Again, we're taking everything to muscular fatigue. He's controlling his body weight. He's not bouncing or jerking. Keeps the movement very safe. We're going to try and get 3 right here, and I'll help him. I can spot from behind. Yep. Perfect. 2 more. Good job, BJ. Big pull. Excellent. Last one. Everything you got. Perfect. Down nice and slow. Excellent. If a player's not strong enough to do a pull up, we'll go right to a pull down here, which is also done with a cable pull down. Still working the muscles of the back, biceps and forearms. Controlling the weight, pulling in, getting a good pause, up nice and slow. Excellent. Keeping his chest against the pad, we're going to get 3 big pulls. There's 1. Nice, good control. There's 2. Last one. Everything you got, BJ? Perfect. I got you. Next exercise is a dumbbell shoulder press. Keeps his feet on the ground, back nice and flat against the seat. Going through a full range of motion, but not locking out the elbows at the top. Keeping tension on the muscles the whole time. As you can see, BJ controls the weight on the way down and on the way up. Excellent. Let's shoot for 4 good ones right here. Here's 1. Perfect. 2. 3. Last one. Everything you got. There we go. Good. We're now going to a 1-arm dumbbell row. BJ's hand is directly underneath his shoulder and his knee is directly under his hip. Pulling the weight up towards his rib cage, slow and controlled. Going through a full range of motion. Working the muscles of the back, biceps, and forearms. At completion of this set, we would do the other arm. Looking good. Big pull. He's not jerking the weight. He's not using his low back. We're going to get three. Three good ones right here. There's one. Two. Last one. Big pull. And perfect. We're going to now go through our shoulder circuit. BJ is going to perform reps. Lateral raise, working the middle part of the shoulder. Excellent. And he's going to go right to a front raise, working the front portion of the shoulder. Excellent. Again, he's doing everything slow and under control, so tension stays on his muscles the whole time. After he does the front raise, he's going to bend over so his back's parallel to the ground. And we're going to do a rear delt raise, working the back of the shoulder. This combination works the entire shoulder joint. Excellent. Our next exercise is an upright row curl press combo. Again, working all of the muscle groups in the shoulder. He's going to start with an upright row, working the muscles of the traps. Curl will work the biceps, and then an overhead press, working the shoulders and triceps. Since we're doing it from a standing position, we're also working the muscles of the core and low back. Excellent. Big drive. Let's see if we can get two more. Looking good. Upright row, curl, and then press. Fantastic. One more, buddy. Upright row, curl, and press. Fantastic. Our next exercise is a push-up row, which works every major muscle group in the upper body. BJ is going to go down and do a standard push-up, and then pull a dumbbell up to his armpit. Still working all the muscles of the core. We're working the back and biceps on the row, working chest, triceps, and shoulders on the push-up. Excellent. Let's shoot for two each side. You can see he does everything slow and under control. Perfect. This is one of the best upper body exercises you can do. Let's go one more each side. This is it right here. Here's one. Perfect. One more other side and you're out. Nice job. Excellent. Our next exercise is a barbell curl. BJ, make sure he keeps his elbows locked into his side. He's not using his low back, not using his shoulders, all biceps. Excellent. Big curl. He's controlling the weight on the way down and on the way up. Let's get three good ones right here. One. Perfect. Keeping tension on the biceps the whole time. Two. Last one right here. Drive up. And perfect. The third step in improving your vertical jump and your on-the-court explosiveness is improving your power. The MVP program utilizes the safest and most efficient plyometric exercises. As obvious as it sounds, if you want to be able to jump higher, you have to practice jumping as high as you can, and these exercises do that. When it comes to the plyometric program, safety is the most important factor. It's important you have proper footwear as well as use the softest, most giving surface available. In regards to box jumps, the MVP athletes will be jumping on top of boxes, not off of boxes, to limit the orthopedic stress and wear and tear on their joints. All right, first plyometric exercise we're doing are called forward bounds. Brandon's going to bound off 2 feet, land as soft as possible in a squatted position, gather himself, and then go again. Perfect. It's a tremendous way to build explosiveness and power in the legs and hips. You can see a nice soft landing. Perfect. Next, we're moving to our lateral bounds. Brandon is going to be pushing off his left leg so we can develop some good explosive power on the left side. Go ahead. He'll land right, left. Again, going for distance. Going to reach, jump as far as he can in a good athletic position. Excellent. One more, as far as you can. Our next plyometric exercise are power skips. Again, building power up one leg at a time. He's going to explode off one leg and then repeat with the other side. Going for height. Every jump is a maximal jump for height. Next exercise are called plyo lunges. Brandon's going to get in a lunge position. He's going for a vertical jump, exploding up as high as he can and then switching positions. Coming down nice and easy, nice and soft. Excellent. Explode up. Every jump's a maximal effort for height. One more. Perfect. Now we're going to do lateral bounds. Bounding back and forth from left to right. Working one leg at a time. Great for developing the muscles used to move defensively, which is an important part of being explosive on the court. 2 more. One more. Perfect. We're now adding an 18-inch box. You can also use a bench or a step, and we're going to do up and overs. Go ahead. Pushing hard through the inside foot. Going for height. Excellent. Nice soft landing. And relax. The more challenging version is to do the same leg over and over. Pushing hard through the inside leg. Excellent. Going for height. Perfect. Let's get 2. One more. And perfect. And right. We're now going to our stance jumps. In the game of basketball, you rarely jump with both feet together every single time. So Brandon's going to have a different foot position each time. Explode up and touch the rim with both hands. Perfect. And then get set. Excellent. Every time, get yourself set. Perfect. 2 more. There you go. 1 more. High up, high up. Perfect. And relax. Nice. That's good. The main staple of the MVP program are the box jumps. When working on your vertical jump, you get all the positives by jumping up. We want to reduce the impact on the landing, which is why we have Brandon jumping on top of a box, not down off of it. Each time he'll progressively go higher, step down nice and easy. He's working on good footwork, working on getting good bend in his knees, and really exploding up using full body power. Excellent. You can see Brandon lands nice and soft, so we're reducing orthopedic stress. Perfect. Walk down nice and easy. Good. We're not doing this for a conditioning effect, so there's no hurry in between reps. Normally we'll do 15 to 20 jumps at each box. For demonstration purposes, he's only doing 3 or 4. We'll get 1 more. It's important that you do this progressively. Don't advance to the next box till you master the one you're currently on. The next in our series of progression of box jumps, we have Brandon actually holding a basketball. By putting his hands on the ball, we're eliminating him using his upper body for momentum, putting more tension on his legs, hips, and core. Go ahead to the middle box. First progression is without a ball. Second progression is with a ball. And let's get 2 jumps on the big box. Looks great. Explode up. Good, that's it. 1 more. Perfect. Nice job. There you go. For those of you that don't have access to plyo boxes, Brandon's doing the same thing on the bleachers here at his high school. Exploding up, nice soft landing, stepping down. When he progresses from there, he'll be able to jump to the second step. Nice and soft, that's it. Try and get your full foot all the way on there. Excellent. Let's get 1 more. Perfect. Our third series of progressive box jumps, Brandon now has a 25-pound weight vest on. Doing the same thing. Let's get 2 jumps at each height. Nice soft landing. I prefer that Brandon wears a weight vest because it keeps the weight evenly distributed and close to his body. I think it's very dangerous to jump with dumbbells, barbells, and so forth. Again, with our progressive nature, it's important that he masters each jump by itself, then masters each jump with a ball. Now he's mastering each jump with an extra 25 pounds on his chest. Our first drill we're going to do, Troy's going to sprint in off vertical jump, touch both hands on the glass as high as he can, come back and touch the free throw line, and we'll repeat 4 times in a row. Ready? Go. As high as you can each time. There we go. Good. Good touch. There you go. Good. Explode up. Explode up. Excellent. Good. Here we go. High as you can. High as you can. Boom. Last one. Everything you got. Everything you got. Our next drill, we're going to try and grab the ball at its highest point. This one you need a partner or a coach. There we go. Nice. Trying to grab the ball at its highest point. Really want to challenge him. Excellent. If you don't have a friend or coach to throw you the ball, you can also do this drill by yourself. Troy's going to give himself an underhand throw off the backboard. Catch it at its highest point. There you go. Really challenge yourself. Get that ball up. Excellent. One more. Everything you got. Explode up. Explode up. Nice. Our next drill is called touch and finish. He's going to touch. As soon as he lands after that first jump, he's going to go right back up again, trying to keep the ball nice and high. Explode up to get a maximum jump on the first, spending as little time on the ground as possible. One more, everything you got. Explode up, explode up. Boom, and perfect, and relax. If you really want to improve your vertical jump and your on-the-court explosiveness, it's important you have a strong core. And by core, we mean the abs, the obliques, the hips, and the low back. Over the last few years, I've developed a core workout that incorporates nothing more than a standard basketball. This workout is creative and different because I know you want to be challenged with new, innovative exercises. It's also a program that can get progressively more difficult over time, so as you master some of the basic exercises, there are always harder exercises to do after that. And it incorporates muscles of the hands and fingers and forearms, which are very important for basketball players. First one we're doing is just a plank with hands on the ball. You can see Adrian keeps his shoulders, hips, and ankles in a line. You can see it requires a balance factor and is really tough on the hands and fingers. We'll hold this from anywhere from 45 seconds to a minute. Working the muscles of the low back, hips, and abs. And relax. Next exercise is plank, hands on the ground, feet on the ball. Because the ball is an unstable surface, it's causing Adrian to use the muscles of his obliques and hips to keep his feet from rolling off. Again, he keeps his ankles, hips, and shoulders in a straight line, still working the muscles of the shoulders and the hands. Our next progression from the plank position is bringing knee to elbow, which is one of the most difficult exercises you can do from a plank position. Working the muscles of the hip flexors, also incorporating a lot of balance. With one foot off the ground, you're balancing yourself on one leg and on both hands. As you can see, his hands and shoulders shake a little bit, which means we're working the muscles of the hands, fingers, forearms, still working the core and hips. And the last one we're doing is called a supine plank, where Adrian's facing up. His backside's not touching the ball or the ground, trying to keep ankles, hips, and shoulders in a straight line, working the muscles of the shoulders and the hands. Great way to develop strength in your low back and core. The next exercise are called wood choppers, which is basically a modified sit-up. Adrian's going to hold the ball nice and tight and bang the ball above his head and between his legs, working the muscles of the abs. Excellent. Goal would be to see how many of these you can get in 1 minute. Let's get 3, 2, and 1. Perfect. Next exercise is called our over and unders. Adrian's pulling a knee into his chest, working his hip flexors. It's okay. Yep, there you go. That's good. Working on ball control, hand and finger strength, but all the while working the abs and the hip flexors. Trying not to let the feet touch the ground. Excellent, and time. Our next are our straight leg toe touches. Adrian's going to touch the ball above his head and then bring him up to his shoestrings. Again, just a modified type of crunch, working the abs. This takes the hip flexors completely out of the movement. Let's get 3, 2, and 1. Next are our side-to-side twists, working the muscles of our obliques. Adrian's going to keep his feet off the ground, and he's getting a 180-degree twist from shoulder to shoulder. Touching the ball behind his hip. Again, you're going to see how many he can get in 1 minute. Excellent. Still working the muscles of the abs and hip flexors, and time. Next is our bicycle. Yep, there you go. Adrian's going to touch the ball above his head and alternate knee touches. All the while, his feet stay 6 inches above the ground. And time. Another great exercise for trunk flexibility is our behind the back twists. Adrian's going to set the ball behind him, reach around and grab it. Great for working the muscles of the obliques. Excellent, excellent. Any exercise we do in one direction, we would do in the other direction. And time. And our last ab movement is called get-ups. Go. Adrian's going to get to his feet as fast as he can and then sit back down. He's not going to let anything in his upper body touch the ground. Hands on the ball the whole time. This is great for the muscles of the hip flexors and core. Excellent. Quick, quick, quick. There you go. One more. Last one. Fast as you can. Go. Excellent. Good. Part of the MVP program is being able to monitor progression. If you can't dunk a basketball yet, you will be able to at the end of this program. The first part of the progression is taking a running start. The next part is taking one step. And lastly is going simply off the vertical jump. And as you'll see, we'll use different balls. A golf ball, a tennis ball, a softball, a volleyball, and work your way up to a regulation basketball. Thank you for joining us in the MVP program. I guarantee if you follow this program with consistency and effort, you will unleash the MVP in you.